Hi guys, we're going to just quickly revise some of the topics we have done this term. What I want you to do is I want you to match each word to the algebra. If you don't remember, have a look back in your books. I know you can't ask the person next to you because you're not at school, but pause the video and have a go at that now. When you're ready, unpause it and you will see the answers on the next slide. And here are the answers. So remember, an equation has got an equal sign and generally a one unknown that you can solve. So for example, here we've got 2x plus 3 equals to 4. So we can solve for x. A term is a collection of numbers and letters, or letters joined by a multiplication sign. And then an expression is a collection of different terms. So when you come back to school after Christmas, you're going to have your end of term assessments. They're nothing to worry about, but they will give me an idea of how you're getting on lessons. Remember just to do your best and revise using the memory tasks, and remember to bring in all your maths equipment. You will need a calculator. See if you can get yourself one for when you come back. So the equipment that you will need is you need 2 pens. Have one for spare because, as you know, they tend to explode strangely enough. And you will need 1 pencil at least, a ruler, eraser and a protractor. Okay, so in this slide we are going to be practicing simplifying expressions by multiplying. So if you look at question 1a, it says 5 times 3w. That means that we can multiply the numbers, which is 5 times 3, which is going to give you 15, and then the w, so your answer will be 15w. There are also examples at the top. The next part of the question is write an algebraic expression for each of the following. So 4 more than c would be c plus 4. Pause the video, do the rest of them, and when you're ready to mark, change slides and the answers will be revealed. Okay, pause the video and mark your work. So I'm going to go through this question with you, and then you're going to have a go at the question yourself. Now, in the last assessment that we had, you were taught by different teachers, some of you, but a lot of the pupils that I taught made the mistake of not reading the question correctly. So it says, below are a list of numbers, and they list them numbers. And then we have questions based on those numbers. So from the list of the numbers above, find a multiple that is a multiple of a number that is a multiple of 5. Well, having a look at these, I can see that 25 is a multiple of 5 because 5 times 5 is 25. So the answer here would be 25. In the previous test, people read a number that is a multiple of 5, and they would list then a whole lot of multiples of 5, some of them not in the list. Pick the number in the list that goes with the question. B says, so from the list of numbers above, find a number that is a factor of 24. So in order to find a factor of 24, I would do my factor bug. So I would have 24 and 1 times 24 is 24, 2 times 12 is 24, 3 times 8 is 24, 4 times 6 is 24, 5, I can't divide 24 by 5, and 6 I already have, so I know I've got all of them. So I then look at my numbers and I see which one is a factor of 24. And actually, the only factor of 24 that I can see is 24. So I would write 24. The next question says, out of this list, I need to find 2 prime numbers. Now remember, prime numbers are numbers that only have 2 factors. So for example, if I have 7, I can only make 7 by multiplying 1 and 7 together. If I had 5, I could only make 5 by multiplying 1 and 5 together. So these are only 2 factors each, 1 and itself. So let's have a look. Which numbers here are prime? Well, I know that 11 is not in any other times table except for 11 timetable, so that would be a prime number. Okay, we'll circle it rather. Prime number. And also 29. 29 is also prime. So my answer here, I would write 11 and 29. What about square numbers? Are there any square numbers in this list? What are square numbers? Let's quickly go over that. So a square number is created when you multiply a number by itself. So for example, 1 times 1 is 1. 1 is a square number. 2 times 2 is 4. 4 is a square number. 3 times 3 is 9. 9 is a square number. And so forth. So 1 is my first square number, 4 is my second square number, and 9 is my third square number. So having a look at these, are there any numbers that are square? Well, I know that 5 times 5 is 25. So that's a square number. And then looking down the list, I get to 16. And 4 times 4 is 16. So 16 is a square number. Okay, pause the video and have a go at this question. When you unpause, you will see the answers. Okay, pause the video and mark your answers. So pause your video and give these questions a go. When you unpause, you will have the answers. Okay, pause the video and mark your answers. So this question was going to be done in lesson with you, and you would have been able to discuss it with the person sitting next to you. But as it is, you are at home, so just have a think about what the difference between x squared plus x squared is and x squared times by x squared, and how different your answers might be. Afterwards, there's a little video explaining the common misconceptions that people make when dealing with these sorts of questions. So let's have a look at this. The question says, what's the same, what's different? Well, I can see that the only difference between these two questions is that one is an addition expression and one is a multiplication expression. And both can be simplified. So the answer to this would be, I've got 1x squared and another x squared. So altogether, I've got 2x squared, 2 lots of x squared. In the same way, if I had simply x plus x, you know that that is 2x. Sometimes people get confused because of those x squareds. Okay. If I look at x squared times by x squared, that actually means x times x, because x times x means x squared, times x times x. So that means that I've got 4 lots of x's being multiplied together. So I've got x to the power of 4. So that's my answer to that, and that's my answer to that. There are 2 very different things. So we're going to quickly revise fraction of an amount. I know we've done this in lesson. So if I have 3/4 of 24, the operations that I'm going to follow are, I'm going to divide by the denominator and multiply by the numerator. So I would have 24 divided by 4, and that's going to give me 6. Then I'm going to multiply by the numerator, which is the number on top. I'm going to have 6 multiplied by 3, which is going to give me 18. So 3/4 of 24 is 18. The reason this works as well is you might have been shown the bar model, which I would have done in lessons. If I'm looking at a fraction, I know that this bar is going to be divided into quarters because it says 3/4. So I've got 4/4 there. I know the whole thing is worth 24, okay, but I only want 3 parts of it. So I need to divide 24 by 4. So there will be 6, 6, 6 and 6, and 3 lots of 6 is 18. Okay, have a go at these questions. Pause the video. When you unpause, you will have the answers again. Okay, here's the answers. Mark them. See if you can use the PAC marking. And that is it for today's lesson. And let's do a little bit of a reflection on how you feel you have done in the topics that we have revised today. Okay, so now that you've done your reflection, what I want you to do is take a photo of your work and submit it on ClassChart so I can have a look at it. Please make sure that you have marked your work before you've done that and that you have done a reflection.